maneuver!
Welcome back to another Ace Maneuvers Top 5 list. I'm your host, Samuel. I cited this just for you, Tate. And today I've got the top 5 foundations on the evil symbol. Now, I picked this one because I figured it would have a lot of diversity from my last list, but also because it's kind of a softball, really. Evil doesn't have the best foundations, but let's jump into it with number 5, Nervous Habit. Now, pay 1 life for 1 speed. That doesn't look super appealing at first, but that +1 speed can turn into a myriad of rewards. When you're doing your combat math, you have to remember that effects like this are optional, and it's about when you use it, right? So it doesn't have maybe the best bonus in the world, but that +1 speed can force your opponent to commit an additional resource or to take damage that they otherwise wouldn't. And at that point, paying 1 life or maybe 2 life if you have 2 copies down to deal damage where you otherwise wouldn't have, that's a pretty good trade, right? Pay 1 to make my 5 damage attack hit. And then of course, the response is not just limited to stun effects. It counts any committal effect. Anytime your opponent commits it, you can respond. So that being open-ended and stun just being kind of a powerful thing. I mean, look at what won the last provisional. And the fact that it's versatile enough to always punish 1.3 million volts makes it the number 5 foundation on this list. Now, number 4, I've got Brute Strength. And so this is Nervous Habit's cool older brother. This one's adding damage instead of speed. And you can easily debate which one is better than the other. And while I would agree that speed is probably a better stat to add to your attacks most often, Brute Strength is a card that can bring you the damage you need to actually win the game. Once you're in a position to start going crazy with Brute Strength, it gives you an additional resource to burn, and it doubles the output. So 1 card that can give 2 damage versus 1 card that can give 1 speed. And then on top of that, it blocks high. High attacks have defined the early parts of the format for us. It's still the zone that Texas Smash is on, right? So it's high block over mid block led me to put it a little higher on this list. And then number 3, we have Sticky Balls. So in my last video, I talked about the speed penalty on Specialist of Sound. This actually has a higher speed penalty, but with the restriction that it can't be a ranged attack on the E commit. However, its top enhance is so good, we often forget about that. It's so good at shutting down long attack strings and also ruining the combo keyword for the opponent. So your Staff Strike decks, your Binding Cloth Capture decks, things like that. I am, however, really sick and tired of hearing sticky balls and people laughing at locals. Sticky balls, sticky, over and over. So it might have been higher on the list if it wasn't for that. Number 2, this might surprise some people, is Creepy Realization. So this is a lot of people's favorite foundation, and I understand that because it punishes the opponent for playing too much of the game. You're blocking too much, you're playing too many attacks, right? We don't want that. And the damage reduction on it is really the icing on the cake after they have to deal with all the progressive difficulty from the cards in their card pool, any cards that we add to it. But then the damage pump synergizes in an incredibly win more fashion because the card pool clog is acting as our speed. Now, Creepy Realization is also giving us an equal amount of damage. So it's a really strong game ender, and it keeps you in the game as well. But number 1 on my list of evil foundations is Apathetic. This is the quintessential control foundation. It's the ultimate wizard in terms of flip cost and flip effect. It's a star on both offense and defense, taking out your opponent's best foundation essentially permanently as soon as you have an enhance available. And I put this at number 1 over the spots at number 2 and number 3, not necessarily because of the raw strength of the card itself, but because it is more generally applicable. There are more board states, where apathetic comes into play, essentially saying that there are a few times where just adding 1 to progressive doesn't matter because your opponent's already in the attack that's going to kill you, or creepy realization. Again, it's early in the turn, they don't have enough in the card pool. Apathetic is live and ready to take something out all the time, and if your opponent has no targets for it, then you're probably in a pretty good position anyway, right? So this is my number one. Apathetic, generally useful, a strong, powerful effect, and it will be weird to see it not get used in the future. It would have to be through power creep, or because there's a character like Cementos that really wants to have all of his stuff face down, right? So that's my pick, is taking out their best foundation, edges out very slightly creepy realization and sticky balls. So let me know down in the comments below if you guys agree with that list, if you guys think that apathetic is or is not the best foundation on the evil symbol from set 1. Come check me out on twitch.tv next Tuesday. I don't know when you're going to be watching this, but Tuesday the 12th, I'm going to be live streaming at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to have Andrew Holder from Go Beyond Gaming. So come check that out, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern, April 12th. That's Tuesday. I hope to see you guys there. I hope you guys check out the Provisional Showdown this weekend. It's in person in Omaha. Should be streamed on twitch.tv. I'll see you guys next time. Like if you like, subscribe if you want to. Peace.